Welcome to Color Me in Sound, a Black creative series where we amplify creativity and elevate Black voices by highlighting the bold, the brilliant, and beautifully creative work of Black women in music, art, storytelling, and design. I am your host, Angel Taylor. In each episode, we bring you into the minds and hearts of women shaping culture through creativity. On this show, we step into the stories behind the work. Today's guest, Tonya Cross, is an accessory designer, entrepreneur, and the creative force behind Accented Glory. She brings cultural reverence, craftsmanship, and intention to everything she creates. Known for signature cowrie shell pieces, Tanya shares the story of tuning a personal need into a purpose driven brand. So let's get into it. Hey!
How are
Hey,
you doing?
lady!
Hi, how are you?
Good. I am
Good, good,
so
good.
glad that you are here. So, the first thing I want to ask you is what first inspired you to create accessories specifically for women with natural hair?
My inspiration was a need. When I initially went natural back in 2001, I had a hard time finding natural hair accessories that were natural hair friendly. Let me be specific.
Yes.
I could find hair accessories, but they weren't natural hair friendly. So a friend of mine suggested, why don't you just make it? And
Mm.
I told her, you know what? I think I will. And so I did. So initially it was just for myself to accessorize my looks with my natural hair. And of course, other women.
Right.
was
They saw it and they said, "Where did you find that?" Right?
Exactly, that part. So it was just like it kind of snowballed from there because and it never dawned on me until people started asking me to make it. Tanya, if you having this problem, other people are having the same
Right,
problem.
right.
So, but yeah, and people started asking me to make things for them, and they was like, "I'll pay you,"
Oh,
and
you look you like I can get paid for this? My passion?
yes, yes.
Okay.
So it basically started from a personal need and it just snowballed from there. And here I am now with my own brand. Um, really didn't get serious about it though till about 2 years ago. But we'll get into it. Yeah. We'll get into it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had no business or marketing experience when you started, right? So what helped
None.
you grow into the entrepreneur you are today? We want to know.
Yeah, what ended up happening is my oldest daughter, I have three adult daughters. My daughters are 32, 28, and 27.
Mm.
So,
Hashtag black don't crack, right?
so what ended up happening, like my oldest daughter, her major was communications, public relations, and she noticed well, I told her about, people wanting to purchase, people wanting to buy. So I already had proof of concept.
Yeah.
So I decided to say, hey, let me just go on Estes, create an Estes account and see what happens. Local
Okay,
people.
so hold on. So for those that don't know, tell us what Etsy is.
Okay, Etsy is a online platform for
Yes.
people to sell their handmade products or design. So
Okay.
that's what it is. So I say, let me just out of a whim, I was like, it was like late November.
And what year was that?
Oh, this was like 2017. Yeah, it's 2017. So I did
Okay.
that and I started getting sales. So I was like, okay, so this isn't just a local people know me friends thing. This is like
Okay.
something that people are really interested in and purchasing. So
Yes.
I told my daughter about it. She's like, okay, we need to develop a marketing strategy, a business strategy. I'm like, wait.
You know what? What daughter was this? What's her name?
Her name is Desiree.
Desiree. Thank
Desiree,
you.
yes.
Thank you for showing her the way.
And I was like, like I said, I had no business knowledge, because it was initially just a hobby,
Yes.
something I enjoyed doing, something that was creative, a creative outlet for me. It was very therapeutic, and it still is very therapeutic. I
Yeah.
enjoy creating things by hands. But and I was like, okay, hold up. And she was like, well, mom, we're gonna create. So we created a logo, all that stuff.
Okay.
Establish a brand identity, and she helped me through that process. And so then
And
it
so
got to
what
the
was
point.
her business? Like what how does she know all of this?
Well, she ended up with a degree. She graduated with a double major in communications
Okay.
and uh, public relations. So
Okay.
she worked in her first job she worked for, managed the social media accounts at UNC Chapel Hill. So that
Oh,
was her
okay.
first job,
So
and
wait
then
a minute, you're here in North Carolina?
yeah,
Okay. I didn't even know that.
yes,
Because
yes.
I'm in Charlotte.
Okay, I'm in Salisbury, so I'm like 40
So
minutes
we're
west of
close.
you. Yeah,
Yes.
we're close. We're
Okay,
close.
listen. We gonna get together. We gonna get
Okay, let's
and
connect.
yeah,
Yeah, for
we could
sure.
have did this in person.
Let's connect for sure. But anyway, so then she ended up moving to Texas. She got a job for UT, University of Texas in
Okay.
Austin, and she managed the social media accounts for the president.
Yes.
So she did that for about 4 years, and then she decided, when COVID hit, she joined the
Okay.
Great Resignation, resigned from her
Okay.
job because she was like, I want to continue to work from home.
Yes.
And so she just set up contracts with the departments within the university.
You
So
know what,
yeah.
Desiree? Listen, Desiree, you could start this business and try to train women on this path that you just completed.
What
Yeah.
she do now, she do have her own business. It's called Two Words Solutions.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what's her website?
It's Two Words Solutions with an S on the end.
Uh huh.
TWOWARDS, because that's her married name now. She's a
Okay.
ward now.
Okay.
And solutions with an S on the end .com. That's
Oh,
her website.
listen, did you
Mhm.
guys hear that? I need you guys to go. I know this is about Tonya Cross, but we need to get Desiree's business some more
Yes. She
going.
is amazing black woman. Even though
Yes.
she's my daughter, I may have some bias, but yeah.
No, I agree.
So she just really helped me navigate through that. But then it got to the point where, because believe it or not, a lot of people have a hard time believing this. I am an introvert at heart. But because
You
I'm a
know what? People always
businesswoman,
say that, and they're really
yeah,
not introverts. Okay.
I know how to turn the switch on when I need to. Okay. So she was like, Mom, you got to stop hiding behind your logo.
Yeah.
Things are shifting with social media. People want to connect with
Yes.
the creators behind the designs. So I was like, oh, Lord, okay.
But you know
So
what? It's so good that you listen to your kids. You know.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they're more knowledgeable when it comes to techie stuff anyway. So
Yes.
yeah, but she gave great advice. So I
Uh,
followed her instructions, and things just took off really from there, because people were able to resonate with me and connect with me on a different level because they knew who I was.
yeah.
Really, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And now you are famous. Just a little. Oh, I just no. I've Essence is calling. Let me do this interview. All right. So
Mm,
we know that cowrie shells are central to your work. What
yeah.
cultural meaning do they hold for you personally?
For me personally, the cowrie shell has African roots. They are believed to be a gift from the African water goddess Mami Wata, which is the
Okay.
largest mermaid deity in the country as a whole. And so that's the connection for me because I was really drawn to the shell. And I must be honest, initially I didn't know the history
Yeah.
behind the shell from the
Okay.
start when I first
Okay.
started working with it. But as I started creating designs, I was like, well, let me learn more about this shell and the culture behind the shell. And also, it's the first form money known to humankind. A lot of people didn't know that. People would use the shells in exchange for services and products. It was like money. They would link the shells together, and a certain number of shells represent a monetary value.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So when I started researching, I said, okay, yeah, this starting to make sense. It's part of my heritage.
Aw, yes,
It's
we
part of my
love that.
culture, so yeah, so that's how it started.
All right, thank you. You describe your aesthetic as Afrocentric boho chic. How do
Mhm.
you define that look and who is it for?
I define the look by it's a real it's a casual look, but it can be dressed up too at the same time because I have an
Okay.
opportunity to work with different influencer. So I had one influencer to do my cowrie shell necklace with an evening dress, and I had never really
Oh,
right, I had never really considered dressing it up. And I told her, I was like, "Girl, you just opened up my mind to the possibilities of how you can style
yeah.
with." So it can be dressed up, it can be dressed down, but it still has a relaxed look, um,
Okay.
a calming look to it. So that's how
Yeah.
I define it. Yeah, it's relaxed,
Yeah.
casual vacationing kind of vibe.
Nice, nice. Just like what you have on now, because you like you kind of look dressed up, but then you kind of look casual, and then you
Yeah,
wearing your special shirt. What's your special shirt?
I
What
got
special
my
shirt
special
you?
shirt. Let
Let
me
me
show you
see.
my shirt.
Let us see. Oh, hey! Did y'all see that?
Yes, yes,
Okay. And you see how that looks? Like that's casual, comfortable, but dressed up at the same time. We got everything
yeah.
going on. Okay.
Yes, yes. I had to represent today. I had to represent.
That's right. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. So, what does it mean to you to create pieces that connect people to heritage and spirituality?
It for me, it keeps me inspired and motivated because the majority of the reviews that I get on my designs, people always comment on how the design makes them feel.
Oh, I love that.
And like I said earlier, like creating things by hand gives me joy and peace. It's therapeutic for me. And I
Yeah.
really truly believe that that positive energy is transferred into each design I create. So one of my most memorable reviews is this lady. She was like, every time I put on, because I have a cowrie shell headband design, and she was
Okay.
like, every time I put on that headband design, I just it boosts my confidence. I
Oh,
feel like I can go into the room and just be in charge. And I was
yeah.
like, and she said she feels like a queen. And I was like, yes,
Oh,
that's the
that is,
energy I wanted to have. That's how I want people to feel when they wear my jewelry. I want them to have confidence. I want them to feel like they own the room.
oh,
Because they do. They do.
oh, that is so, oh my goodness. And of course, like you said, that makes you feel so good. I love
Right,
that,
right.
made me feel good. And I'm not even the one creating it.
Yeah, it keeps me inspired to create more, to reach
Yes.
a wider audience, to impact more people. So
Yes.
yeah.
So, with that, walk us through your creative process from idea on a napkin to the final design. And what's your favorite part?
Okay. Um, it always start out with an idea. And funny you mentioned napkin because some of them have started out on a napkin at a restaurant.
Right.
And it just hits me and I was like, "Ooh, let me sketch this out real quick, while it's fresh." And so and then once I have the idea, what I
Hmm.
do, I create prototypes um of the design. And once I create the prototype, I fine tune it, get it to where I feel like it's wearable, doable. And then
Yes.
the second part of it is I have people to wear test
Okay.
my design. So I call up a friend but one time I used it as a promotional marketing way. I created a new earring design, so I
Right.
gave my audience an opportunity to sign up to wear
Okay.
test. So I end up selecting 5 people to wear test the design, and in exchange for the wear test, they gave me their feedback and
Okay.
photos, user generated content for me to use to promote the design. So people wear tested, give me feedback, and then I come back to the drawing board if
Uh
they
huh.
say, this could be different, this could be better, you know, and I fix it, and then it's ready to go out into the world.
Wow.
Not everything
Brilliant.
doesn't make it though. Everything doesn't make because a lot of people say, "Does everything make it?" No, everything doesn't make it.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
have,
So,
yeah.
do you do any vendor events? Do you usually do
I
that?
do vendor in person, but I'm real particular
Okay.
about which events I've been at because vending at events is a lot of work.
Okay.
You gotta because I handcraft all of my pieces. So I gotta create inventory to sell, then I gotta pack up, load up my
Yeah.
table,
All right.
travel to where the event is, set up displays and all that, and then break it down and come back home.
All right.
So I'm very particular about the events I select because I do my research and make sure that my target audience, is going to be present. They're going to be there to ensure it's a good return on my investment.
Right,
So yeah,
right.
yeah,
Okay, that
yeah.
makes sense. So, I am the color me and sound guru because of soulful sounds. And I know that music is a big part of your inspiration and your creative flow. So, what role does that play for you?
Oh man, it it gets me in the mood. It truly gets me in the mood to create because it helps me to really center my creative energy, because it's very important that I be in the right mood, in the right spirit when I
Yeah.
create, because of the example that I shared with you about how it makes people feel.
Yes.
Yeah, so I got to be in the right spirit, in the right mood. Yeah, and
Oh,
music helps with that. Music helps
okay.
with that.
All right, so your designs are now in gift shops and museums, just little small things, small places, right? So, what does that recognition mean to you?
It's affirming. It's affirming to me
Yeah.
because the process of getting items into gift shop is not simple.
Okay.
It's not an easy process because what they do, they rotate out products. And I had can I share a story about that?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so one of the gift shops I'm in North Carolina is the Milton Road Center of the Arts gift shop in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Okay.
And the museum curator told me that she had been following me for 2 years,
Mm.
waiting for a spot to become available so she could add me to the gift shop. And my lesson learned from that was that consistency is very important.
Okay.
because you never know who's watching you, who's monitoring what you're doing. Because
Yes.
if I would have stopped sharing or posting on social media or wouldn't been consistent, she could have just assumed, oh, she's no longer in business. Let me
Right.
move on to somebody else. And I was like, 2 years. She said, yeah. She said, I was so excited about having your pieces in the gift shop because
Wow.
she thought they would do well. And yeah, and so of course I had to still go through the application process and get
Yes.
approved and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a process for sure.
Wow. But that's very important for someone to know that people are watching even if you think that they aren't, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I love that. That was a good story, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just for everyone that's listening, just keep doing what you're doing, even though you think you're not making an impact, you are making an impact to someone somewhere, right?
Right.
Um, so you talked about before about collaboration. So
Hmm.
what makes a collaboration successful for you?
It has to be a win-win for everybody involved.
Okay.
And when I pitch to different people, influencers, other businesses for collaborations, I make sure it's clear what I'm
Okay.
bringing to the table and what my expectations are in exchange for whatever I end up bringing to the table. So it has to be a win-win for everybody involved because the feature that I got in essence, as a black designer, um, woman designer with on Estes for Estes Fines, was it from a collaboration with another black
Nice.
woman influencer. And
Nice.
yeah, because it was an opportunity for me to tap into her audience and for her to
Right.
tap into my audience. And of course, both of us shared the content that she generated around the earrings that were featured. And so it was a win-win for both of us because she got, you know, in the magazine as well.
Oh, that is
It was
awesome.
great. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. It was great. It was a great
So
experience.
now you said that you pitch ideas to different places. Can
Right.
you tell someone that's listening that's in the product space, how are you finding these people to pitch to?
Research.
Okay. So it's you
Research.
cannot just sit somewhere and
Right.
think that they're coming to you. You
No, you cannot.
okay.
Because I know, ooh, when I pitched to the museums, well, the first museum, they came to me.
Okay.
But the second museum that I was added to is another local museum here in North Carolina. What I end up doing is pitching, reaching out to the museums, pitching to them. And you got to have a winning pitch too.
Yes. Okay.
You got in the pitch, you got to tell how your products is gonna make their gift shop the best. Um,
Okay.
or sell or be attractive to their audience. I probably pitched to, ooh, I would say 20 gift shops, museum gift
Okay.
shops. And I got back one yes, and I got back two maybes.
Okay.
So the maybe I supposed to be following up with them. Matter of fact, thank you for the reminder. I supposed to be following back up with them because, like I said, there's some of them do a rotation, so they will be rotating out, uh,
Right.
right, an artist, and they'll be bringing new artists in. So they told me to reach back out to them.
All right. So you got to add that to your to-do list,
Yes,
right?
right,
Okay.
right, right,
So,
right.
dear Black woman, Color Me and Sound is reminding you to add that to your to-do
Yes,
list
yes.
so
I'm
that
gonna
you
reach
can
back
reach
out
back
to
out
them. Right.
and get your yes.
Right. And then pitching to the right people helps too because I
Okay.
pitched to black um history museums. I pitched to them. I
Okay.
also pitched to art. museums. I pitch
Yeah.
to them. So just knowing your audience and helps because you know who to pitch to and
Right.
possibly get results. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So you told me earlier that you are also a coach for handmade entrepreneurs. What's one piece of advice you'll always share?
What I just shared, be consistent
Right.
because consistency is key. And
Okay.
you, as the entrepreneur, get to define what that is for you. Because I know it's a lot of us that still works a day job. Because personally, still work a day job as well.
Okay.
It's still many of us that still work a day jobs, and we're working around other schedules. We're working around family schedules, children's
Yes.
schedules, all that stuff. So you get to define what consistency means to you, whether you posting once a week, whether you posting every 2 weeks, whatever you decide this you're able to do, just be consistent with it. That's
Right.
really the key. Just being
Okay.
consistent with it. And you get to define that for yourself. So
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you so much. So, what are your goals for expanding into small batch wholesale and beyond?
Right now, I end up pitching once again, pitching.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So, we got consistency and keep pitching.
Keep
Okay.
pitching, like knows you're gonna get some yeses. You will
Yes.
get some yeses. But you gotta keep motivated and inspired to keep trying, keep doing it. I end up pitching to some wholesale sites. And I pitched to maybe three of those, got one response.
Okay.
I got denied by the other two, but hey, somebody's gonna change.
Yes.
So, working with them right now, I got accepted onto Bulletin. Bulletin is a wholesale website. So I'm working with them right now. Matter of fact, I just sent them an email this morning with photos of the designs that I'm gonna have available for wholesale
Okay.
because I decided not to wholesale the designs that I sell on my website. I've decided
Okay.
to create specific designs for,
Nice.
for wholesale. So
Right.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. So, when you talk about pitching, do you have a particular pitch deck that you're sending to everyone, or do, and if you do, are you specifying or changing different ones for each person that you're sending it to? So talk about that a little
correct.
bit.
So I do have a pitch deck, a pitch outline, like what everything I want to include in the pitch. And you're right. I just tweak it and
Okay.
fine tune it to accommodate whoever I'm pitching to. The pitch that I use for everybody. The pitch I use for podcast interviews, the pitch I use for museums. It's the same structure, but I just tweak it to accommodate whoever I'm pitching to and what type
Okay.
of platform it is that I'm pitching to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And so you guys heard that. You have to tweak it to your audience, basically, right?
Right,
So
right.
you can't just keep sending the same thing out for everyone
Oh
because
no,
everyone,
no, 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 no,
right.
no.
All right. So if
Yeah.
your brand had a mantra, what would it be and how does it show up in everything that you do?
My brand mantra, I would say, mm, is alignment.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Just being in alignment, staying true to yourself,
Uh,
staying true to your why, staying true to who you serve. Um,
yes.
one of the things that we're family, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna just keep it 100.
I think by now they know that we are family, right?
I'm gonna just keep it 100. Because when you go to my website, when you go to my online shops, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Etsy, whether it's my personal website, you know who my target audience is. There's no
Okay.
question
Okay.
about who I serve because I personally believe representation matters.
Yes, ma'am.
And that, and I had someone to approach me and say, have you ever considered um adding other people's models to your website?
No.
And I was like,
That's why
no,
you're on Dear Black Woman, Color Me Insane.
I know who my audience is. But I also had to let them know representing my audience on my website have not eliminated me from selling to other people either.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
for other people, my design is known as beach wear, um, vacation wear.
Mm-hmm.
But for my people, it's known as Afrocentric. Um,
Yes. Yes. And
so
we want the Afrocentric for
right,
ourselves.
right. So staying true to who you are and really narrowing down your niche really doesn't eliminate people. I know a lot
Yeah.
of people think if they throw out a broader net, they'll catch more fish. No. It's
Mm-hmm.
right, right.
Mm.
It's gonna resonate with who it's supposed to resonate with.
Okay.
So yeah, stay
All
true to
right.
yourself.
Stay true to
Align
you.
with yourself and your
Align
vision.
with yourself, stay true to yourself. Oh my goodness, I love that. And I think that, that's kind of the theme that everybody's been saying in the last couple of years, but it's
Mhm.
really refreshing to keep hearing it again so you know that this is what you're supposed to do. So keep doing it.
Right,
All
right.
right, so right before we close out, I know you've said a lot and you shared a lot with everyone, but is there anything else, any final thoughts that you want to say?
Yeah, I do. I
Okay.
want to just encourage other women, especially black women. If you have a vision, if you have a dream, it's never too late. As long as you're alive, it's possible.
Yes.
As long as you on this side, it's possible. Because I launched my brand in my late 40s,
Okay.
and I was just like, no, this is not for me. I can't do this. My daughter was like, yes, you can do this.
Okay.
Yes, you have proof of concept. You're gonna figure this out. And and it's funny thing is now she come to me like, I'm working with a handmade business. What advice should I give to them?
Right, right.
So now I can provide advice to her, but it's never too late. And I want to encourage you, do it. Just
Mm,
do it. Just do it.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're not going to do the math, but if y'all did the math, y'all already heard her say 40 something, however many years. Mm, hashtag black don't crack, right? My goodness. All right.
Yeah.
So please share your social media platforms and website with our audience.
Okay. To find me, I make it easy to find me. You can just simply go to Accent Glory, which is my brand name, ACCENTED Glory, GLORY.com. My social media handles are the same across the board. It's at Accent Glory, which is my brand name. So I make it very simple and easy to find me.
Thank you so much. And
This been so much fun.
yes, oh, I loved having you here today. So much wisdom.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Color Me and Sound, a creative series where we amplify creativity and elevate Black voices. If Tanya's story moved you, support her work. Share this episode and stay connected with us. We're here to celebrate joy, creativity, and the power of voices of Black women creators. Until next time, honor your roots, celebrate your creativity, and never stop designing your truth.